Hello, fly scrapers. This is Anthony. This is Aquascaping on the Fly. Welcome back. To those of you who are new, welcome to the channel where we do DIY and budget, and we've got a big surprise today. Now, for a lot of my regulars out there, my fly scrapers, I swear I can say it, there's been a series that we've been wanting to do since, I believe it was February is when I first announced it. And that is the Rainbow Series, which are going to be 5 different tanks. I know the rainbow has 6 colors. Just trust me, it's going to work out. Don't freak out yet. 5 tanks for a very specific reason. Now, a lot of you know that I'm spiritually led in all my builds. And the term Rhombus popped up when the Rainbow Series was first introduced into my head. And I thought, okay, I can do a Rainbow Series and I don't really have space for 6. I could get away with 5 because originally I wanted them all lined up on my wall on like boxes that came out from the wall that were mounted to the wall. I mean, it would have looked amazing because it would have been the spectrum of color. I was so into it, but that sadly was not going to happen. And so Rhombus was introduced and I had to look it up. And what it is that you take 2 opposing triangles. One's here and then one's here. They intersect and forms a diamond. The diamond is called a rhombus. So what we did, and if you look back on the videos where I did the build out for the Rainbow Series, we put 3 shelves up and we put electrical on each one of the shelves. And then also I spaced it just enough apart. I only had a limited amount of space, so I could not do 10-gallon tanks. I could only do a 5.5, which I was fine with because I didn't want to do big tanks in the beginning because I really wanted to showcase something different on this build. I really want to showcase what we can do, especially if you're wanting to build like a family tank or something fun if you have children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews, anybody that you're wanting to introduce into the hobby. I thought, okay, this is a great way to do a really low cost budget build, and that's what we're shooting for on this. So on my stand, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second, don't worry, quit, just be patient. It's going to have 2 tanks, 1 tank, and 2 tanks. And it's going to be red, orange. Yes, we're not going red, orange. It's going to be red, go down to orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, I think. Or blue. No, it's going to be red with blue on the same one. And then violet with orange, because I think those 2 colors will complement each other. I've already got a list, of course you would thought I would have it ready for the video, a list of the plants I'm interested in and the shrimp I'm interested in as well, because I want to go color specific as much as possible so the tank really looks like the color we're trying to make it look like. It's going to be a little more difficult because I'm going to really have to use stem plants, which you guys know I'm not really good at. Talk about boosts, I'm there. Remember, this is the channel where you saw Bucephalandra aragon bloom underwater, and that's not an easy task. That tells you that your water is spot on when the plant does that. And so I love my boosts in all my plants, in all my tanks. But we're going to have to do some stems to get that color I want, because a lot of the fun colors are indicative, of course, of stem plants. So that's another thing we're going to go with. And I'm going to turn around because I'm going to show you something. For those of you who have heard me talk about the Harry Potter reboot, okay, so this is another 20-gallon long. Inside here is wood with a very massive hurricane lantern laid on its side that is hot glued to this base. It has this beautiful bevel on one end, so that's the part where it's supposed to sit down, and it is heavy. I love this. You do not find this. You find those cheesy, really super thin ones everywhere, and they're small. This I found in a thrift store, and yes, you know I paid $6 for it. because that's what it costs. You know that Mother Nature provided the wood in there because that was on one walkthrough in nature, and I found these two pieces, and I was going to use the smaller one in a small build, and when I put these two together and put the hurricane on it, it turned into the Harry Potter terrarium. Now the terrarium, you can see there was it's just a nice slow dip where the soil went, and I had the Elder Wand in there. So my story was about how the Elder Wand had resurfaced in the Forbidden Forest and waiting for the new, and I forgot what they called the Chosen One, the new Chosen One. And so I loved it. It was amazing. But because I couldn't keep it really humid that much because there was very little dirt in there, it just didn't really do anything. So I took it apart, but I thought, okay, we're not done with that. We're going to do something else. And I just had this brain fart that said, why don't we put it in a 20 long? It'll fit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that really could work. We will still put the Elder Wand in the hurricane part. And I have a really cool option on how to decorate the Elder Wand, but I'm not going to tell you about it. And then I'm thinking about doing like a black and gray base. I do not really want to put any substrate into this because I don't want to cover up any of this beautiful black wood that we have going on. And because we're still supposed to be in the dark forest of Hogwarts, I want to go with a darker base here. So I was thinking like those Mexican river rocks some of those are black, and then maybe some gray ones thrown in there. Because if you guys remember a while back, I did a tabletop fountain that was in black river rock. So I have some black river rock. Whether I have enough to do this, I do not know. The plants are going to be minimum. I'm actually taking the two out of blackfish that I had ordered extra because I thought blackfish was kind of naked. And now I've changed my mind. I thought the shrimp would have no place to hide. Oh, good Lord, there's nothing but caves there. I hardly ever see the shrimp because they stay underneath it because it's hollow. Part of it is hollow up inside of blackfish, the structure. And so they're always up in there anyway. So I'm going to take out the bigger plants that were in there so you can see the full intent of blackfish, how it was from the beginning, my initial thought process. So this is going to be one that we're working on, but that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about the Rainbow Series. So the products that I have sitting here is I've got 5 of these bags of the Aquagon soil, and I've got, I think, 5 of the root tabs packages. So definitely for sure, I'm going to be putting one thing of soil in with the root tabs, and then I have gravel that I've picked up in different places that we're going to put on top of it. So I'm going to have a cap of gravel. I'm going to look and see if I want to use my special gravel that Mother Nature found for me, that not gravel but pebbles that are quartz, some of their honed quartz. I may pull those out by color just to see what's going to happen with those. But that's something that we can sprinkle in there that each one of the tanks will have something in common. And then if I don't have enough hardscape, I may have to go shopping for hardscape. And you know what that means. That means going out in Mother Nature. But I have a big old tub of hardscape that I need to go through. But most of it's big, bigger than this, because for some reason I have in my mind that I'm going to be doing really grand tanks. And I'm going to want a lot of hardscape because that's really kind of my thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch around and show you the display that has the tanks on it. Now, I bought these tanks on sale. They were 50% off at PetSmart. You guys know that I do not pay full price for anything if I can help it. That keeps our budgets down. So the tanks were $12. The light averaged out per tank to be $9. The fertilizer is $10 a packet, and the soil is $11. Right now, my base price into each one of these tanks is $42. Now, I've got my hardscape, I've got my rocks, I've got my gravel, so I don't have to worry about anything like that. Only thing I need to worry about then is what stem plants I'm putting in there, which shouldn't be that expensive, and then what shrimp we will put in there. Now, can any of our shrimp here go into those? Not really, because if you guys remember from Blackfish, Blackfish gave us the blue velvet. Remember, we had blue velvet in there, but they all died but two, but they had like 2 live bursts in there. And out of it came 3 different colors. So we have black that's here in Tree of Life, and there's speckled black, and some are solid black. Then we have spotted red up there in Garden of Eden, which look amazing because they have these deep red on them. And then the aqua ones is right here in Turtle in Motion. So those 3 colors really aren't going to work, because when I do red, I really want to do like a traditional cherry red, because I want the color to pop. And when I do the yellow and green tank together, I'm going to just go with a nice bright yellow. So I want all the colors of the shrimp to really resonate with the color they're going into. The one that's going to be hard is violet. Now, I could do that, it's not quite black neo shrimp that has kind of a tinge of purple in it. That would get me there. Then there's another one, but it's way too expensive. So if I do the black, that will be my homage to purple. And then let's see, so red, yes, orange, okay. We used in Blackfish Sunkissed. They're too dark. They're not bright. So we're gonna go with a regular orange. So it looks like we're going to do a red, an orange. We may go back. Now I have new blue dreams in here, and they're the perfect color. So we could do that, or I had thought about doing blue really. The blue really that has black in it. I thought, okay, that could be really pretty, because I don't have any, I have only one really left, and it's an orange, and it's in one of the little bowls. So that's what we're going to be doing for the shrimp. But you've got the budget. What you could do though, like if you guys really, really want to economize on this, we could do potting soil instead of aqua soil. You could do potting soil and sand. Sand is very inexpensive. Or you could still do gravel, which you definitely could get away with potting soil. Potting soil would be like maybe $2 a tank versus what we're spending, which is going to be $11 a tank. So that would bring it down any further. Now your lighting, if you already had lighting and didn't have to purchase lighting, like if you had something that would work, I had to purchase my lighting. And so that's why and I will give you the screenshots of everything I purchased so you can see what exactly the products I'm putting in there. But you could go a lot less expensive than this if you wanted to. You could easily do it for $30 max if you did the potting soil route and then got your lighting on sale. So that's something that I really want us to focus on, is we're going to focus on the budget. Now I know when we get to doing the shrimp, that's going to be another $30. The plants, maybe that'll be another $30. So we're looking at $100 per tank at the cost I'm going to pay, because I'm setting it up as a full tank. But now you guys could go so much cheaper than having to do something like that. You wouldn't have to get a whole entire order of shrimp. You could just put a couple in there, or you could skip the shrimp and go with some very inexpensive fish. Whatever you want to do that makes it work for you or your family or whoever you're wanting to bring into the hobby to make it interesting for them. So let me put you on pause a sec. I'll scoot it around so you can see the display. And thanks for joining me today. Voila! It looks amazing! Oh my God, I'm in love with how this is gonna look. And I'm not prejudiced at all. Yes, did I birth all this? Yes. And I have the scars to show it. But I really and truly, this is exactly how I envisioned this. I mean, it is exactly what I thought. Are my shelves completely level? Who knows? There's nothing level in this place. And I remember when I put one of the shelves up, I was using these mega decking screws. And when the 2x4 went in, of course, the 2x4 wasn't quite level. The wall's not quite level. And I think one of the shelves is off a little bit, but we'll just make up for that whenever we, put the water in. And that's another reason why you guys know I leave the rims on my tanks, because I use them for a reason. We're going to want to put plants in here, and plants are so easy to attach to the rim part of the tank. And the one thing I'm debating about is, should I put a little 5-watt fountain pump in there at the top to stir the water up like I have in all my aquariums. I love it because when the light hits it, it gives you this little like sunlight coming down through. So why don't you guys give me a comment about, should we do that? Because we can add that at any point. But okay, so here we go. The tanks, of course, have been completely prepped. So what I do is I take all the stickers and everything off of it. I wash it down in a mild, dish soap. And then once I do that, I do a 2-stage drying process, because it's going to streak. So you're wanting to get the most beautiful clarity out of the tank as possible, so that you can find out what smudges you need to take care of, because there always could be, oils or silicone or something like that someone has touched it and it's embedded in it. Unless you get it under light and really go over it, like with a razor blade and paper towels, and rub it out of there, clean it out of there. You don't want to find it later. You want to find it beforehand. So it does take a lot longer to prep than just wash it and then let's start throwing stuff into it. No, we have to back it up. Now, the one thing that bugs me, just because I'm all about the aesthetics, is I hate the cords showing. So I'm probably going to tape the white cords if I have space, because, okay, so the top row and the bottom row, those are bargain lights. That's 2 lights on one switch. And no, I couldn't get them in black, because getting them in black was almost double the price. And so what I did is I sacrificed it, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to get white. It's not going to bother me. Well, it does bother me. I wish it was not white. But I'm just going to live with it, because it was a bargain price. So the top and the bottom are on one controller. So I do not know if I'm going to be able to tape the wiring coming down the stem enough to hide it where it hits the back of the tank. So the same thing for the bottom shelf and the top shelf. Now, the middle one, that's not quite so bad. Once I put a plant or something in there, you won't see it. But that one definitely can be taped to the silver antenna rod that extends up. And I just automatically went as high as possible under the 2 shelves and try to mimic that same size. So okay, I'm going to quit talking with my hands, because you can see me all in the back here, just hands moving like crazy. The 2 pieces of terrarium art, the one on the left, that one is made to go there, and the one on the right I created, and those are going to stay. So those are going to be permanent little fixtures there next to that tank. I wanted to put different things up there. Then I will put something that will hopefully kind of hide the cords in the middle of the 2 tanks that are on the top and the bottom shelf. That's a goal that I want to get done. So the one step that I do that is maybe a little bit different than what you would want to do is I actually have pleather fabric that is free, and I cut it down to size, and I put it on the back of all my tanks, except for blackfish, because blackfish just sits out and it's to be viewed on both sides. It's not easy, because electrical tape doesn't always want to stick to a fabric, but it's what I've used because I have it. It's the same fabric that I used to wrap the dowel rods that are the support shelves on the 2nd and the 3rd shelf. Those are actually dowel rods covered in pleather with black electrical tape on the ends to keep them all, nice and tucked together. So yeah, I'm all about DIY and saving as much money as possible. I do not remember how much was spent on this. It wasn't much, because I already had the flooring. I had to buy the dowel rods and, of course, the 2x4s, but because I had the flooring and I had the trim already from a kitchen remodel, had the had the background because of the flooring remodel, and I put this in as a permanent structure, so when I leave, it'll remain with the unit. It can be taken down, but since the flooring and this match, I think that someone else would, use this maybe for something else completely different. But for me, it's to be able to hold up tanks. Since I'm only doing the 5.5 gallon, I don't even need the black dowel rods, but I like the way they look. I think they're cool. So I'm going to leave them up there anyway. But yeah, the shelves themselves are attached on the left-hand side, going all the way to the end on the right. So they are held up by massive decking screws that go all the way back into my 2x6s that are in my wall. So I actually have laid down on these shelves. So I know it will hold my weight, and I know that these guys are going to be okay. So let me give you a kind of a quick look at what I'm talking about, the back. Oh, that's so pretty. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. It's so pretty. So here you have it. So here's the back side of my fabric. And then this is just electrical tape. It just goes all the way around. And then I put the warranty sticker on the back of the tank. So then you can tell exactly what the tank is. And then it just floats right there like that. So what I want to do now is, since we've got this far, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take them down. We're going to put them in a line on the stand with all the aquariums on them. And we're going to kind of talk about what options I have for hardscape. So hot sec. Okay, so there we have the shot of the wall again. And I moved all the supplies over there, except the sand. The sand is just generic sand. And the tiny gravel, you can see it in the gravel, you can see it in one of the tubs I've got. But we're going to go freestyle. So bear with me. Don't get motion sickness. Okay, so here is, I've got a lot of different larger rocks like that. And now here, okay, look at the difference. Here's the tank. Here's some of the rocks I have. So yeah, we're going to go big probably. I have a bunch of these, not just that. That's just like a little sampling. These, and you can see the gravel in there a little bit. Now these are the ones that Mother Nature found for me. A lot of these are this whiter color, which might be really cool, so we could see the color that's in there. I think that could be an option. And then I have a smaller grouping of specialty rocks. And I thought I could do that as well. Plus, here's my big old tub of hardscape. And now I have to dig through this and find the smaller pieces. But as you can tell, I do have a really good selection. All right, hang on. Let me pan out again so you can get a good idea of all this. Okay. There we go. That took way too long to do. Okay, so this episode, you saw the tanks, the setup, the lighting. I'm going to give you the details about each one of those. You've seen the hardscape that we're going to talk about. It's going to be on the next episode that I'm going to go through the stages of my thought process and what I like and what I don't like. And I'm going to go rehone my plants that I'm thinking about doing. And I may put in a screenshot, or maybe not a screenshot. I may do like a text box that highlights the plants that I'm thinking of, and so you guys can kind of get that into your mind. So I hope this episode was fun and cool. I'm trying to keep it a little bit shorter, and if you guys have noticed, I'm doing everything as a premiere now on Saturday mornings, because most of you are watching the videos on Saturday anyway, and so I'm trying to give you a constant, steady stream of videos coming through, and not just when I'm able to download a video between trips. This way, at least it's planned, and I know it's out there on the site. So Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have an awesome day, whatever it is you're with. To me, it's a Saturday, and I'll see you guys either in the air or on my next video update. Thanks so great. Have a good day. Bye-bye.